On this episode of Like, Love, Want, Need, join me as I travel in style to St. Augustine, Florida, where I'll visit the tasting room, the to-go bakery, and the Casa Monica Hotel. Thanks for watching Like, Love, Want, Need. To stay connected, visit us online at likelovewantneed.com. And to get the experience for yourself, sign up for the A-List, where you'll find giveaways, tips, and more. I walked into the tasting room and I was first just taken aback at how warm and really romantic the atmosphere was. Chef Lugo greeted me immediately and so friendly. I really just kind of felt like I was family. We sat down, we had a really great conversation where I just kind of picked his brain on all the details and how he got started and what his history and background is, and I could really tell that he and his wife Stephanie poured their passion into the tasting room. Great. Well, your location is absolutely stunning. You have bold colors, beautiful design. Tell me about your inspiration.
Growing up in Puerto Rico with my family and dining and celebration, kind of like being part of your life. I always grew up wanting to be in the food business, maybe a restaurant since I was little. Growing up, going to school for hotel and restaurant management, going to culinary school, cooking in restaurants. Always had a dream to open my own restaurant. Met my wife, her in-laws live in St. Augustine, which reminded me of home in Puerto Rico when we made our way here, and just fell in love with the history of the Spanish culture and really to my Spanish heritage. And it really was a no-brainer, just kind of like fit right into things that I've dreamt about my whole life.
Wow, well, you're certainly doing something right because you've received many accolades. Could you tell me a little bit about your awards? Best of St. Augustine?
Yeah, the restaurant's been blessed enough to have several awards, Best Upscale Dining, Best Tapas, Best Wine List, and Best Live Music Venue. This last year we got a great award. We were noted one of the top 50 wine lists in the US, the only restaurant in the state of Florida. And just recently, we got our 4th Wine Spectator Award of Excellence. Oh,
well, you had me at wine. Do you have a cellar here?
Yeah, let's go check out the cellar.
All right, that sounds great. Okay. The wine cellar is exceptional, boasting several awards. It's easy to see why it's nationally recognized. Chef Lugo and his wife Stephanie sat with me and said, "We want everyone to feel like a local, not a tourist." They further explained that they believe everyone coming in the door is a repeat customer who fall in love with the food, wine, and music, and the experience. It's not just a one-shot deal, throw the food on the table and be gone. They want you to come back. So, each selection on the menu is an invitation to try more, something new, and a reminder not to forget your favorites. Not too far from the tasting room is where all the delicious breads and pastries are made. The Tasting Room to Go, a Spanish deli and cafe. I walked down a pretty path and under the trees, I found a beautiful courtyard with the privilege of being known as one of the best in outdoor dining. Whether you want to nosh, picnic, or feast, this little sister to the tasting room invites you to enjoy gourmet sandwiches, signature salads, and fresh baked breads. The distinctive deli items such as exceptional cheeses and cured meats are all imported. Wines are also showcased with a lovely selection of craft brewed beers. My personal favorite were the brownies. It does not get any better than this. Huge, gooey, delicious, a little bit of sea salt. You better believe everybody I know will be getting one of these for Christmas. Especially moi. Coming up next on Like, Love, Want, Need, the beautiful Casa Monica, where art meets inspiration. Vistas inspire. A model makes a comeback, and I return for a special invitation. Thanks for watching Like, Love, Want, Need. To stay connected, visit us online at likelovewantneed.com. And to get the experience for yourself, sign up for the A-List, where you'll find giveaways, tips, and more. Earlier on Like, Love, Want, Need, I was reintroduced to St. Augustine, Florida, where I arrived in style. Had a chat with Chef Lugo of the Tasting Room, and met a brownie from the to-go Spanish deli I couldn't forget. Walking into the Casa Monica, you're immediately overwhelmed with a sense of history and the architecture and the art. You have the music playing that kind of puts you in a different place as soon as you walk in. The energy is incredible. In 1887, Henry Flagler sold a parcel of land to Bostonian architect Franklin W. Smith, on which Smith built the Casa Monica Hotel. The hotel opened in January of 1888 with only 3 guests registered and was later sold to Henry Flagler a few short months later. Flagler renamed the property to Hotel Cordova and caused it to thrive, filling the hotel with many return guests and grand affairs. He later connected Hotel Cordova with an annex to the Alcazar, a neighboring hotel also owned by Flagler. The Hotel Cordova closed its doors in 1932 and was purchased 30 years later in 1962 by St. Johns County to be turned into a county courthouse. The structure served as the courthouse for another 30 years before being purchased by the Kessler Collection in 1997. Opening on December 10th of 1999, the Casa Monica Hotel was restored to its original name and grandeur, operating once more as a luxurious hotel. The Casa Monica Hotel exemplifies the same splendor and service it did in 1888, maintaining the original historic and majestic style while uniting it to modern luxury. Clearly, you guys have thought of everything. Can you show me a little bit more?
I would love to. Follow me.
The gallery at the Casa Monica, beautiful. Well, the Casa Monica itself is a gallery, but they actually have a separate gallery where you can go in and they have someone that's there to give you all the history on the artwork, and they have a wide range. They had stuff that they were explaining to me, the artist would take months and months on one painting, and it just almost looked like a photograph. And then they had another artist who was more of impressionist style and, you know, brought in artwork from around St. Augustine, would use the vistas and the beautiful landscapes. You could actually go in and purchase a piece of St. Augustine and take it with you. It was gorgeous. They had jewelry there that was made by local artists and artists from around the world, and they had someone that was there that had in-depth knowledge that could really give you a personal understanding of the pieces there. So as far as collecting is concerned, it's definitely a spot you want to stop at. So Anthony, one thing that I've noticed as we've been walking around and touring is that the artwork here has its own character. Tell me about the artwork and how important it is to Mr. Kessler's properties.
Well, Mr. Kessler is has an affinity for art and music. And even though we're in our grand Bohemian art gallery, you'll see that there are no boundaries, that the art transcends into the hotel, into the hallways, into the public areas. But you'll see when you look through the gallery, you'll see different artists that Mr. Kessler has met, developed a relationship, and those are the artists that you'll see throughout all of our Kessler hotels.
Wow, so he doesn't just use it in one hotel, but he uses it in several of his properties.
In several of the properties, when he develops a relationship with an artist, and it's an artist that paints the landscape of the geographical area, he'll develop that relationship and you'll see the art. So much of the art you see in this gallery, for example, Jean-Claude Roy, many of his paintings are of St. Augustine and the surrounding area.
I love how Mr. Kessler hand selects almost every piece of art that's in there. If it's not the individual piece of art, it's the artist. He will come and he will browse through the location that he's at. He'll walk the streets and he'll introduce himself to local artists that he sees have talent, and he'll come and actually have them create pieces specifically for the location and also to have in his galleries. So not only the artwork is exceptional to this location, but also the architecture, I've noticed, is pretty important.
Absolutely, it transcends the gallery. Once you leave the gallery and into the hotel, The architecture is amazing. It's of the Gilded Age, which is post-Civil War up to the turn of the 19th century.
Wow, could we take a closer look?
Would love to show you.
Great. So Anthony, we were just discussing all the beautiful artwork in your gallery, and I was mentioning the architecture and how it's part of the character of the Casa Monica. Tell me more about what we're seeing right here.
Well, what we're seeing here in the Flagler Ballroom, Amy, is actually a room that's only about 10 years old. This was a parking garage in the year 2000, and the hotel needed some additional space. So we constructed this ballroom, but we wanted to keep the common architect from the rest of the hotel, and again, of the Gilded Age of the 1890s. So you'll see that, and it will be transparent to someone walking from the original building into this room.
Well, you've done it seamlessly, because I never would have known. And I am seeing some really beautiful artwork here as well.
Well, this was all commissioned, Mr. Kessler again, and just a pleasure visit to St. Augustine, was visiting the Leitner Museum, and an artist by the name of Tim Murphy had a studio, and Mr. Kessler was very fond of his work and commissioned Tim to paint all of these paintings. So all of these paintings that you see were all done by local artist Tim Murphy.
Wow, that's incredible. So we had this really interesting experience when Anthony took me to see their new ballroom area. And there was this one piece we were standing in front of. It was crazy because the camera kept picking up something a little spooky. This woman, gorgeous and exotic, and her eyes are mesmerizing. We were all just taken aback. But while Anthony and I were talking, the camera would pick up as if it was another person there, as if she was alive. And we were all a little bit creeped out. It was one of those, like, you can't look away, but you don't want to look at kind of moments. You're just like, what is going on here? This place is rife with history as being the first city. Tell me a little bit more about what we may not expect from the history of St. Augustine.
Well, it's a very exciting time. We're going to celebrate in the year 2015 the 450th birthday of St. Augustine, of when it was settled by Pedro Menendez. But it's not just the 2015 celebration that we're looking forward to. There was a series of commemorations beginning this year with 2012, leading up to the finale, the grand event in 2015. For example, in 2012, this is the 200-year anniversary of Spain's democracy in 1812. And once Spain established their democracy in 1812, they had monuments established in their colonies in areas around the world. And then once the monarchy came back into power, they had all of them destroyed, but we have what we believe is the last one existing in Constitution Plaza here in St. Augustine.
Wow, so when you come here to St. Augustine and visit the Casa Monica, you get music, you get art, you get history, you guys have it all. I think it's time to relax.
And you know, a good place to relax is up on our pool deck. It's a gorgeous pool, and you could reflect on all the history that you've absorbed throughout the day and just reflect there, maybe with a cool drink in your hand.
I cannot wait.
Let's
go. An unusual and rare opportunity, I was invited to take a ride in Mr. Kessler's 1929 Model A convertible. Now I can check that off my bucket list. So the thing about Kitty Cat, her name is Syrah, which, as you know, is a red wine, because I kind of have an obsession with wine. I'm not a lush or anything. Not really. But this is Syrah. She's recently on a diet because she got a little extra fluffy than she needed to be, so the vet put her on a diet. And she's my little guardian cat. She's always there by my side. She likes to sleep at the end of the bed, and she's a little mama cat. Aw, that was so sweet. So the suite that Anthony brought me to was amazing. It's 3 stories. You go up a story and you have this beautiful room, and it's so comfortable. The light is wonderful. It's romantic. It's a canopy bed. It's gorgeous. And then you go up a level and you have this amazing garden tub. You just relax in it all day. But what I loved was the Widow's Walk that they have. You actually walk outside and you're on a tower of the Casa Monica. It kind of felt like, you know, like a princess. And it was just this beautiful moment of serenity. I had my glass of wine, I was ready to go out, and it was St. Augustine at sunset. You couldn't ask for a better view. It was probably one of the top 5 best destination moments I've had. It was magical. Absolutely magical. Chef Lugo and Stephanie invited me to come back to the tasting room and sample their delectable fare in an ambiance that only an evening can host. So, delighted, I accepted and was far from disappointed. I was awestruck. It's the experience of both the wine and the food, coupled with the breathtaking surroundings and music. You'll truly feel as if you're in another country eating the best it has to offer. Reintroducing myself to St. Augustine was amazing. From arriving in style in the A8 to the cultural delights of the tasting room, the to-go bakery, and the marvelous Casa Monica with her art, architecture, history, and music. I have to say, St. Augustine is truly remarkable and something I think everyone should experience. Until we meet again, remember, arrive in style, seek out the experience, and enjoy the journey. I'm Amy West.
Let me see.